Hello everyone, welcome to Big Road Travels. Today I want to talk a little bit about TCB plus TT. That's taking care of your business to travel. What do I mean? Well, we're going to talk about cash flow, finances, and types of currency. Now let's start with this idea of types of currency. Currency is just a means of exchange. Let me explain. If you grow bananas and I'm raising chickens, my bananas are my currency because I can trade the bananas with you because you raise chicken, because you need some bananas and I need some chicken. So it's a means of exchange, right? In certain cultures, the trade, the commodities, the bananas, the chickens, the wheat, the rice, that's the currency. That's the means of exchange. In more advanced or Western civilization, those cultures, back from Roman times, and even before that, they minted coins. Now, today, it's mostly dollar bills. It's a means of exchange, right? What am I talking about? Okay, so we have some money here. This is $100 Thai baht. It's a $20 Thai baht. And for this $120 yesterday, I was able to get my wife these roses. Okay, a dozen of these beautiful long stem roses. Okay. Now, that 120 Thai baht is equal to, let me tell you here, $3.70 in United States currency, in the USD, the US dollar. Okay. In the Thai baht, it's 120 Thai baht. When I convert it to US currency, it comes to $3.70. So you can understand why people talk about the value that you get in Southeast Asia, right? And we went to the flower market yesterday and it was flowers everywhere and it was beautiful. So let's talk a little bit now about cash flow. How do you take care of your business with cash flow when you got no cash, right? And this is for my negative to zero people. The people barely get by, you're scraping. You don't even think about travel. It don't cross your mind. It don't interest you because you don't see yourself ever traveling. You don't have the ability to save enough from your day-to-day cost of life or expenses to even consider traveling. So you take a negative view toward traveling, right? Or you spend a lot of time watching aspirational videos about traveling to far-flung places with no concept that you could actually visit there one day. Okay, let's talk about that. How you gonna do it? Okay, there are three ways we're gonna do this. It's gonna take a little time, but we're gonna start. Okay, particularly those of you that are older that haven't started, that I've been talking to, and you just don't get the concept. Okay, please, let's try and start. Okay, I was there in the negative for many years, and so I understand. Okay, so I'm not gonna leave behind. This portion is particularly for the negative cash flow, negative credit, don't even understand what a means of exchange really is, although you do it every day in life when you go to the store and you take in your dollar or your coins and you're trading it for a candy bar, a bag of chips, or whatever you buy with your money. You're exchanging it. Okay. Let's talk about 3 fundamental ways we got to do this, right? So where you TCB plus TT. Okay, let's take care of the business first. 1, we got to start with some credit here. We got to build some credit. Okay, that's 1. Number 2, we got to maintain the credit. And number 3, we got to grow it. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, here's what I did. When I got ready to start building my credit and getting serious about fixing it, right? I was in the 500s, 530, couldn't get out of the 500s. Every now and again cracking the 6s, but couldn't really get out of the 500s. Had a credit card, didn't take care of business, lost it, that kind of situation. You only got $300 credit on a unsecured credit card. You can't do nothing with that, right? So number 1, I determined I was going to start building my credit. Okay. How did I do it? I took out a secured credit card with Discover. I sent them the money. They sent me the credit card, and I was basically charging off of my own funds. I think it was $500. And that got me started, right? Now, here's why I'm saying a secured credit card. Because most of you who are 0 to negative, you're operating with these debit cards. Some of you even have these cash back debit cards. Okay. And, that's better than nothing, but that's not going to build no credit because it's not a credit card. So we need to get you into the secured credit card space. Okay. You can check Discover, go online, check the credit cards. Now, if you can get one that's a no fee, that's the best. Now, if you get one that's charging whatever, $19 a year, $29 a year, $39 a year, that's an investment in yourself to help you build your credit. And so some of these cards will be $39, $49. You look at it, do the math. Now, if you spend $5 a month for a secured credit card, just in the annual fee, $5 a month times 12 months, that's $60. So if you're paying somewhere half of that, you're paying $250 a month, okay? And so that's how you want to look at it. And you may have to cut back if you go into the corner store and you're getting a couple pops and chips twice a day, back and forth to the corner store. Yeah, go once, cut it in half, and use the other $253 for your secured credit card for the year, the annual. Okay. Here's another way you can do it. Get a credit rebuilding loan. Now, stay with me, because some of you get off here. Stay with me. There's a company called Self Lender, and as the name implies, you would take your own money yourself, and they would give you a loan. They front you the loan, but they don't give you the money. And what you do monthly out of your checking account, you pay the monthly bill for the loan. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say you take out a loan for $300. It's going to be 12 months. They're going to charge you 1 or 2% fee. Okay. Out of your check every month, out of your checking account, you can decide to pay $20 a month, $30 a month, let's say. And every month they will take out $30 from your checking account. And at the end of that 12 months, you will have repaid the front $300 or $350, $360 that they put into your loan account. You've now paid it back over 12 months. That's a revolving loan account, right? That's an additional line of credit that you need to build your credit, right? You got the credit card, that's one. Now you get this loan. Those are two different lines of credit. And we're just going to keep it simple for you, zero in the negative category, okay? Those are the two ways I would start with you. There's another company called Kickoff. Some of these were fintech companies out of San Francisco. And so some of these companies that kind of was trying to help people in the community build their credit, a lot of them looked at the gentrification that it went on in the Bay Area. And so some of them really had altruistic designs that they were trying to help people build their credit because they understood the credit card business and they understood the credit industry game, okay? So go on and find self-builder. Now, a lot of people tell you, oh, well, why don't you just go to the credit union and you could get one of, I searched that. Those credit unions today, they don't seem to do that like they used to do back in the day. You could get a loan from them. They don't give you the money. You pay it down every month, and eventually at the end of the 12 months or 6 months, you would have this pot of money that you saved, and it would count as a loan with the credit bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. If you can find that, that's good, particularly if they charge little fees. Now, here's the one thing I'll tell you, zero to negative credit builders, you can't be cheap on yourself when it comes to building your credit. You're going to have to pay some annual fees. You're going to have to pay 1 or 2%, maybe 3% to invest in yourself for your credit future, okay? So if you see that it's a $39 secured credit card and that's all you can get, and you can send $300 to Discover or $500 to Discover or Capital One now, if you can get into that program, now you start building. And let me just say this for you. You've got to develop some self-discipline. And for some of you, you're going to be scared of your own self because you know you don't have no self-discipline. So here's what you can do. Let's say you go charge $100. You get the bill from Discover, they tell you you only have to pay $10 a month. If you can pay 25 or 50 or the whole 100, that's even better. Use your secured credit card like a debit card. Each time you use it and the amount that you charge, $150, and it posts to your account, when it comes up that you can pay it, just pay it. Even if it's every week, pay it. And then you're treating it like a debit card, right? Every time you go in to charge something, once it posts to that account and it's there, pay it. It teaches you self-discipline. You're scared you're not going to pay because you know your past history. You don't pay your bills. Now you're saying, I got a goal in mind. Now let me give you a goal. We're talking about TCB plus TT, to travel. Okay. You know Steve Harvey? You know Steve Harvey. You know his favorite vacation spot? I don't know if it's still his favorite today, but you know what I heard him say his favorite vacation spot was? Bali. 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 Yes. Get you a goal in mind of where you would like to travel one day. So let's just pick Bali. Okay? Bali. Okay. It's my Bali hat. Because I went to Bali. Yeah. You can go too. But we got a TCB. Okay. Let's take care of this business plus TT to travel. Okay. Now, here's another way to build the credit. Go to Experian. Check TransUnion. Check Equifax. Get your credit report. Some of you are terrified of your credit report. Okay, listen, it's like praying to our loving creator, right? Our Heavenly Father, he already know you got bad credit. He know you don't pay your bills. He knows all this. He loves you anyway. Okay. So we're going to put this fear to the side. And what we're going to do, we're going to focus on a goal. The goal is to get better, to improve, self-improvement. And we can always do that, right? No matter how bad we are, we can improve. That's the whole point of having a savior, right? We can get by some of our past mistakes. Now build for the future. Okay. So let's do that. Go to Experian, Equifax, TransUnion is free. At least it used to be. Pull your credit report. Okay, you don't have to pull all three at the same time if you want, but pull one. Look at it. Now, here's what some experts will tell you. They'll say, well, first thing, write letters to ones challenging any credit situation you may have. Don't start there. That's too depressing. Okay, here's where you start. Just get the report. See what it tells you about your credit history. That's not you as a person. That's your credit history. Okay, that's the world we live in today. Credit is important. It's your standing. It's your foundation, right? And what we're talking about is coming out of hood mentality, inner city hood mentality, wherever you are in the world. Every place in the world I've been, there's a hood. And there's a mentality that goes with it. And a lot of people spend most of their energy trying to figure out how to beat the system or fight the system or go around, go under. You can get on an escalator, right? You can't be on no elevator. You got to get on an escalator, and you got to slowly take the escalator up. Okay. Other people that's already established, they can take the elevator and credit up. You got to take the escalator. Okay. So let's just think in terms, forget the past, right? You walked all this way. Now you get to the store, there's an escalator. Take the escalator. Okay. And we're going to build. Now, you're paying rent, you're paying room and board. Hopefully, you're paying your way as an adult. You ain't staying with mama and grandma for free. You're paying your way. Here's why it's important. Even for those of you 35 still living in the basement. You ain't getting no credit for that. So what you need to do in order to build credit, you have to show that you're paying, right? Pay your mama, write her a money order, keep the receipts. You can maybe send them to Experian. Okay, they're doing a lot of different creative things nowadays. There are companies out there that will give you credit if you're renting a room. So go on, do some research, because it's be a part of your self-discipline. Do some research. Now, for those of you that aren't terrified to pull your credit report, pull your credit report. And then what I want you to do is go to Experian and see if you can boost your credit report by connecting certain information about your light bill, your gas bill, your cell phone bill. Yes, you can get credit for paying your cell phone bill when you link up with certain companies. Experian is one of them. So I joined them. I think it was $4.99 a month, something like that. But they linked to my banking account, my checking account, and they saw themselves when I paid my when I paid my cell phone bill, when I paid my light bill, my gas bill, my rent. I got credit for that, and it boosted my credit, right? So that's the building part, okay? Now I've given you some tips, and these are all the things I did. I know they work. I know they work because I know they work. Now, let's talk now, number 2, about maintaining. Okay, now you didn't got the credit situation right. Now you want to maintain it. You see the numbers go from the 5s to the 6s, and now you in the 700 club. Okay, that's the highly coveted 700 club, particularly for those of you coming from ground zero or negative. Okay, now, of course, what people refer to as the Holy Grail is the 800s, you know, the made 05s, 820s, 830s, and some. Like my dad got them 850s, I'm sure, as my Uncle Joe would say about him. He said, that Robert, oh boy, yeah, he got them like Uncle Jay. You go to that drawer down there, and it's full of ones and fives. He's been saving for years. So they got it. I'm not there yet. And yeah, so I'm in the 700 club. I broke into the eights, kind of, sort of, I think, one day. And I think I might have been dreaming. But anyway, how do you maintain it? Well, we got to have some goals. Saving. We want to save. Now, you've gotten some self-discipline, you've matured, you've grown through this process, you see the numbers going up, and so you're feeling pretty good about yourself now, right? You're on this escalator and you going up. You can feel it. In fact, you like paying your bills now. You've connected your bills, paying your bills, with a future goal you have in mind that you can see yourself reaching. It makes you feel good. In fact, you ahead of the credit card company. You trying to figure out why it take Discover so long to post this payment. I paid you, why it ain't posted? Why it's taking 4 or 5 days for you to take your money out of my checking account? When you start getting there, you're there. You're there. Because I was like, okay, Discover, I didn't pay you. Why is it taking 5 days for you to post a payment? My goodness, don't you want your money? That's when you know you've made it. Okay. Also, when you're checking all of your credit bureaus, you're there. Now you can go to the inaccuracies. Oh, they charging me for this medical bill? I thought they couldn't put medical bills on your credit and try and ding you. You know that doctor's office, you missed the appointment, they charge you $79. Challenge that. The dentist appointment you missed, they charge you $75. Challenge that on your credit report. I may not ever pay y'all $75 for a missed appointment, but guess what? You're not going to be able to ding my credit for it, right? Now, if you can pay the people and y'all work out an agreement, okay, let me come in and get the treatment, and will you put the $75 toward my treatment bill? I can't just afford to pay you $75. If it's a dentist you've been seeing for a while, or one, you know, that understands, they work in the inner city, a lot of them work there because they want to help people, and you know, they'll work with it. It's just you got to get past them bill people, and the you know, they got that one lady that makes sure the money come in and she don't listen to nothing. So you have to talk to the dentist and then tell him to talk to her, right? And so you want to do it in a kind way, a nice way, right? We ain't doing no fussing and arguing in the parking lot or in the lobby. We're not doing that, okay? We're building credit, and we're on the escalator up, and that's every phase of our life. We're moving up. Okay, how we conduct ourselves, how we talk, we're moving up, right? Because now you can see yourself and your goals getting clearer and clearer. Okay, here's another thing. In maintaining, if you got that Discover card, if they still do it, because Capital One has bought them, everything you spent on that credit card, even though you made all your payments at the end of the year, let's say they gave you $100 in points that you earned using that credit card that you spent, they gave it back to you, they will give you another 100. Right? Now that used to be a perk, so double check, see if they're still doing that. Here's another one. When you were making these payments on that revolving loan, that loan you got, whatever you want to call it, through self-lender, through kickoff, through the credit union, okay? And you repaid it, and now you got $500-600 in there. Maybe you got $1,000 in there. Maybe you got $1,200. At the end of that 12 months, get another one. Reinvest it. Maybe you started with 3 months just to see how you did. Whew, I'm paying $35 a month. Whew, oh my goodness. Okay, but you did it. Goal reached. Reinvest that into the next one so you've got another revolving account. Now here's the key. The longer you go, the better. Right? Now most of you probably only going to be able to go a year. If you go a year, that's good. Now your credit will go up. Once the loan is over, it'll tick down just a few points because now there's going to be no ongoing history of this loan being paid. You build the credit with the history of the loan being paid. That's why each month you pay it and it's reported to the credit bureau. That's a plus for you. You're going up the escalator. Okay? You're going up the escalator. That's a good thing. Now, let's move to the, we went from the negative to zero. We went from the 0 to the 700 club. Now let's talk about staying in the 700s and getting in the 800s. Okay, growth. That's our third area. Here's one of the ways with credit. You have to think in terms of growth. And one of the ways you grow is by getting more credit, right? We're past that fear of traveling. We're past that fear. My grandmother, Big Rose, she didn't want me to go down to Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, and play basketball. And she never told me she played basketball. And I found out years later, even after she died, from my aunts, that she played basketball herself. She never ever, because she didn't want me going down there playing. So your grandmama, your mama, they may not be the best people to get advice from when it comes to building your credit history. Okay, they just may not. And your friends. You got to get some outside sources. So you got to go watch some people, right? The Ray Dalias of the world, the Warren Buffetts of the world. You ain't never going to have that kind of money. But you can watch them and learn principles from them, right? That's why the scriptures, the Bible, is revered all over the world. I don't care if you in Buddhism, Hinduism, Muslim, it's revered as a holy book. Why? Because people see the wisdom in it. They see the wisdom in it. So it tells you that if you got a bunch of debt and bills, you're a slave, right? And in certain economies, trying to have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage on the corner in the suburb is making you a slave to the economics of that particular country when you can downsize, right? Why 2 people need a house that big? Unless it's a financial incentive that makes sense, right? And you got to check your own oil. You need to downsize, get lean and trim, and be flexible and adaptable to whatever financial situation around the world could affect you at any time, at any moment. You're nimble and lean, okay? That's another way to maintain your financial situation, and to grow it is to be flexible, adaptable, and to have yourself in a situation where worst case scenario, you're still able to function no matter what happens. Here's another way. Request increases on that credit card of your line of credit. Sometimes they will automatically boost your credit. Other times you need to go in and ask. And how can you do this? Most of it now is automated, the artificial intelligence. So that's why I give you a suggestion. The more you pay those bills, the more artificial intelligence is going to be confused, because most of these people, Reddit and YouTube, these credit experts, they'll tell you just pay the bill once a month when it's due. It's not good for you to pay it any sooner, and blah, blah, blah. Pay the bill as many times a month as you can, that you want to, that you need to build self-discipline. Okay? Just pay it. Once a month, 5 times a month, 10 times a month. Pay it. Just pay it. Because you know what that's going to tell artificial intelligence and any credit analyst looking at it? Oh yeah, they own their game. They paying this. They on their game. What else can they say? What can they say when you pay the bill? I don't care if you pay it 20 times a month. Pay it. The key is to pay it. And once you pay it, you will build. This is my personal experience. I'm telling you what I did. And I'm in the mid 700s. Okay. Now, here's another thing. Make a plan when to ask for a credit increase. You can't come in 30 days, ask for credit increase. It's not going to do it. I tried it. It doesn't work. I have that business card through a certain bank that starts with C. I guess they don't like their name being used. They said, take our name out of your mouth. Okay, well, I got the business card, and they issued it to me for $3,000. And I was trying to pay my taxes, and I needed more than $3,000. I was just asking for another 500 or 1,000. They said, no, not a penny over. And they didn't. And so I used the whole 3,000, paid my taxes, and then I had to come back, use another credit card to pay the other part. And but guess what? Because I paid the bill, they end up giving me the extra 1,000, but it was when they wanted to. So on the personal lines, you got to wait probably 6 months or so, or a year, before you request the credit increase. But make requests for your credit increase, even if you have to call and just talk to somebody. Okay, they can't ding your credit for asking for credit increase, as long as you're not having a hard inquiry on your credit. Just a soft pull, which most credit card companies today don't have a hard pull for a credit line increase. So that's what you want to make sure. And of course, you want to do some research on what a hard pull is on your credit line versus a soft pull. Okay. Now, the people from 0 to 700, you're going to be learning all this, because now that you are building, you're going to go out and read and do a bunch of research on that. The group, now that I'm talking to the growth group, you already know all this stuff, right? All you got to do is continue to follow through on what you're doing, and don't fall back. Don't get in over your head in spending with no way to pay it back. Okay. Now, here's another way you got to grow. You got to get out of those credit cards that's not giving you any points and miles. You got to get rid of those. And you got to figure out if you're going to be cash back or you're going to be a miles and points person. Now, here's the reason why you got to figure this out for yourself, because if you're going points and miles, it's going to give you way more flexibility inside of your credit card company, because they're going to see you building all of those points and miles. When you're building with your cash, typically a lot of times people just deposit that right into their account or use it to pay a bill on their credit card. I don't do that. I use those points and miles as intended. Why? Because it's a currency, it's a means of exchange. I have a premium travel credit card. What does that mean? That means I'm going to get the premium benefits of it from travel. Travel related, anything. So, some banks are changing. The travel was a broad category. I got this card, I can talk about it, Chase. It's a broad category. And that covered from parking fees downtown to anything travel related. It's beautiful. Now that it's changing in October. Toward the end of October, it's going to be changing. They're not going to be covering as much. But from now to then, and of course, I don't have some of those expenses now, because in Southeast Asia, we ain't driving, we ain't parking nowhere, but we're traveling. And so I'm getting the benefits of the hotels and the planes and the trains and all of that. So getting your premium, the right credit cards, how you're going to use them, your points and miles, and whether you're going to go cash back or you're going to go points and miles, right? I'm a points and miles person. So what's the bottom line of all of this? Points and miles plus good credit equals Bali. Yeah, it does. So TCB, take care of your business, plus TT to travel or to anything. Just take care of your business. Okay, let's not have no fear and no anxiety of getting our credit report. Is your credit, the good Lord know anyway. Okay, and we can build, and then we can start traveling. The only thing that'll stop us will be if it's the good Lord's will or the creek then rose and you can't get across to get to the airport or the train station or the bus station. Other than that, we're going to work to build our credit. Even if you're just talking about driving to the next town more than 50 miles away. That's what AAA considers a trip. When you go 50 miles, more than 50 miles from your house or where you live or where you're paying for room and board, you go more than 50 miles, they consider that a trip. Okay. And so you want to be able to do that from time to time. And I want you to do it with a secured credit card, which eventually will get you into a regular mainstream credit card, right? And you may not have much limits, right? Let's say they give you a $300 credit card. If you spend the whole $300, you got to pay the whole $300 off that month. Typically, when you're just building credit, don't go over 10% of that card, right? So buy little stuff, pay it off, right? Don't be trying to get that $300 credit card and then go buy a concert ticket for $250. You can't do that. No, you can't go to no concerts right now. If you're in that negative to zero, you can't do none of that stuff, right? You got to stop going to the corner store. You got to stop buying bags. You got to stop doing all that. Shoes, bags, clothes, basics. You're in the negative to zero credit club. You just can do the basics. And you want to get credit for doing the basics, and you can. Check out these companies where they give you credit for paying your rent, credit for paying your cell phone. And you go do your research, because that research is going to help you to get more disciplined, okay? Now, we're helping you and encouraging you to do these things here at Big World Travels, because I know some people in their 60s that's frightened to even look at their credit report. And I've been trying to help them, and they just will not listen. So it's up to you, right, to check your own oil, right? It's your car. You got to check the oil, right? I know you ain't changed it in 2 years. Well, listen, check it. You may have to change it yourself. Take it down there to one of those places that'll, some are expensive, some are cheap because they figure they're going to have to replace a whole engine in your car. But get it checked out, right? You make the decisions. You can be in control of this. Don't be afraid. Check it out. Let's TCB, okay? For those of you, let's maintain, okay? Just think about this. You come too far to turn back now. Okay, you come too far to turn back now. This is in a positive way. I'm not talking about if you're doing something crazy. No, you can always turn around. Right? The good Lord will want you to turn around. So I'm talking about something positive, right? If you're building, keep building. Even if you're in the middle of the struggle and you only see your report going up and down a few points here, don't get discouraged. Sometimes it goes down 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 points. It'll kick back up. It'll kick back up. Why? Because they want you to have credit. Some people say, well, they don't want me to have it. Yeah, they do. You know why? Because they hoping one day you will spend. But they want you to pay it back. But they hope they can earn some interest along the way. And guess what? If they don't get no interest from you, every time you swipe that card, they getting a penny, 3/4 cents of a penny, 3 cents of a penny, 5 cents of a dollar. They're getting swipe fees. Okay. That's why do you think your bank is giving you cash back on your debit card? Because wherever you swipe that card, they getting a nickel and they giving you 2 cents of it. Yeah, of a dollar. That's why. Do the same thing with the credit card. Let the credit card earn the money on swipe fees. They give it you your 2 cents or 1 cent on points and miles. That's a currency. You look up, don't spend none of them points and miles. I didn't spend none of that Discover stuff that I had earned. I had so much on Discover, they were writing me saying, when are you going to spend this? Like, I had a couple thousand. They like, when are you going to spend some of this? And so I ended up using it strategically on gift cards. And when I just had to use it, I used it with gift cards, and you could buy the gift cards. They had some gift card deals where if you paid 160, you could get a $200 gift card. So I used it like that for different gift cards like that, where now the financial advantage was in my favor. See, so that's what you want to do. And have a goal in mind, whatever your goal is. If your goal is to move to a better apartment, move to a better room you're renting, try and buy a different used car, whatever. You want to be able to not go through that used car dealership that's going to take advantage of you. You want to be able to go down there to the real car dealer, have him run your credit, and say, okay, we ain't going to charge you 40% interest or 30% interest, but we're going to charge you 18. Well, that's the improvement. That's the improvement. You already know, okay, can I pay this off early? Is there a penalty? Will I have to pay any pre-interest penalties? Nope. Okay, now. Then a few years goes down the line. Now you can go down there and get the 4.9%, the 1.9%. How about this? The $5,000 cash back that they're offering on that car. You use that as your down payment. You walk out of there, you maybe spend $1,000, maybe nothing. Trade your car. Maybe you owe a couple thousand left on that used car. They're gonna pay that off. Whatever they're gonna look to tack onto your bill, you look at the numbers and see whether or not they make sense to you. Fine. Otherwise, don't even go there. You know, get you a car you can buy cash. Do as much as you can to it. Or if you're in a place where you don't even have to have a car, don't even have one, because now you ain't got to pay the car insurance. So you limit out everybody, right? You catch those grabs and lifts and Ubers when you have to, right? But if you can ride that bus and it's peaceable and safe and you can get to work, and then you take the grab or the lift home, you know, then you work it like that and work it into your budget. And listen, if you get the right credit card, you're going to get money off on Lyft. Every little ride, you may get $1, $2 off, and you look up, and there you are. There you are. You just spent $1,000 on Lyft rides, but you got now $180 that you didn't save off of it. So those are the kind of things that help you along the way as you're going up the escalator of your credit. Okay. Now, growing, you grow in life. I don't care how old you get or how good your credit is, unless you're rich. And you got plenty of money in the bank, and it don't matter what happened. A tsunami can hit you financially and you still above water, right? Well, that's a cat. I'm not even in that category. So those of us, well, most of us probably will never get in that category, but that's okay. If we're in the 700s, we're doing good. We can get anything in the 700s. Okay, you can get the Chase Sapphire Reserve in the 700s. Sometime maybe in the 680s if you got a strong credit profile. And what that is the history, the length of time, right? The length of time as well as your payment history. Okay, and we're not even gonna worry about the negative stuff. Some of that stuff we're not gonna be able to pay. And you get to a certain point, you can challenge some of it, write letters to the credit bureau, see if they can take it off. After so many years, some of that stuff's supposed to come off anyway. And so you can remind them, hey, isn't this supposed to be off my credit report? And then you start checking and writing letters to these different credit companies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, it's all online. You can go on there and challenge anything online. And then they do the investigation and right back. And guess what? Some of the companies don't even have the data to support them going on there and putting those dings on your credit report. They come off. And in a couple months, you'll see a little boost, because if it's TransUnion that did the investigation and they're the ones dinging you, when they realize they don't have enough information to have dinged you on this, because the people just send in the collection report, but they ain't sending no documents to prove up their case against you, that's got to come off. So always file a claim against all of those kinds of things, okay? So TCB plus TT, take care of your business so you can travel to Bali like Steve Harvey. Okay, it's Big Road Travels. Keep up the good work. Don't give up. Come too far to turn back now, in a positive way, not for anything negative. Positive. Okay, take care. See you on the next one.